Hello there, everybody. Hello there, Ms. Janelle. Thank you for choosing me again for another internet reading. Ms. Janelle, if you guys will remember, did another question last week. I think this is my third reading today that involves somebody from last week. So we're starting to get the soap opera wound up here. Well, I'm clearing the cards. Let me just tell you, if you guys would like me to answer one question for you on the video for the low price of $6, all you have to do is go to my website, check that out, do follow the instructions there, and we'll get that taken care of. For those of you who would like a more private version of a reading, I do have those available. Check that out on my website as well. I also offer Reiki services for those of you who would like Reiki, and I have addiction relief services for those of you who would sincerely like to let go of an old addiction. On top of that, for those of you in the Golden, Colorado area, I do psychic parties where we can explore along with you and your guests your psychic abilities, or where I can read for your guests, either way. And also in the Golden, Colorado area, Denver, Boulder, anywhere around here, within a reasonable drive, I would say within an hour and a half drive from me. I don't mind working to do house clearings if you have entities or energies in your home that you're not happy with. I'm the girl to call. All right. Also, if you're trying to sell your home and it's taken a while to sell, it may be a good time to get a house clearing as well. Maybe talk to the land surrounding the house and see what's going on. How come it's not selling? Okay. Alrighty, so now you guys know about my services. Let's take a look at Janelle's question. So Janelle's question is, what is Pablo thinking about presently with regards to him and I? And so Ms. Janelle, I am doing this reading recording this reading at 6:37 Mountain Time in the USA, which I believe is going to be 1:37 in the morning where you are. Ms. Janelle happens to be living in the UK, not very far from London. All right, so let's find out. So what is Pablo presently thinking about the relation with regards to Janelle and him? Making myself a note to edit out where I said the wrong name earlier. Okay. What is Pablo thinking in regards to Janelle and him? The first thing that comes up here, Miss Janelle, is he's thinking that things are not very balanced between the two of you. So he's feeling like there is, somebody who is giving more to the relationship than the other person. He may even be feeling like there's somebody who has more to give to the relationship than the other person. Excuse me. I do still also see where he is, he is also thinking about the situation that he's in and thinking about that other person as well. So basically thinking about his wife. That is not something, I feel like, even though they're separated and their plans are to come apart ultimately, I do feel like he's not completely over that. He hasn't completely processed that whole situation. And so that's a lot on his mind, and that does impact how he views the relationship that you and he have. Something else that's impacting the relationship and how he sees the relationship has to do with money and has to do with budget. I think part of this has to do with the idea that I want to say that this really ties back to our first card of unbalance. that there's a disparity between how much you make and how much he makes, and that's something that's on his mind. He's not sure, how things will work out with that. If you make more than him, it may be that he's feeling insecure about just that fact, and if he's the one that makes more, there's some insecurity about, what happens if the two of you get together, like how is that going to impact his budget. But I definitely feel like that actually ties back to our unbalanced card here. So there's something he's a little bit worried about maintaining a budget one way or another. And the other thing is, I'm actually kind of looking at these last two cards at the same time. Okay, so the other thing is, basically, to say it in a polite way, he really enjoys the nightlife. And I think that there is a disproportionate amount of attention being paid to that part of the relationship compared to the rest of it. And I think actually what's coming up here is that is a motivator for him to stay in the relationship, is to be able to have access to that nightlife that, you offer him. And I think that actually causes him to make some rash decisions. This is coming up here, that is, that basically his lust causes him to make some rash decisions whenever it comes to the two of you. And he's starting to realize that things are not really unbalanced and they're not really in proportion, because, he's letting that part of him be the biggest thing that drives things for him. Now, this isn't saying that there aren't other parts of the relationship. I'm sure that there are, but this is a really biggie to him. I think that if this was not happening, that might be a deal breaker. Then he might lose interest in the other parts of the relationship right now. That's how big that focus is at the moment. Okay, so definitely focusing heavily on the nightlife. Concerned about the imbalance of things between the two of you. Still thinking about the wife, even though he's separated from her with intents to divorce. And worried about the budget, worried about budgeting, and making some rash actions because basically of lust, and he knows it. He's starting to realize that. So that's what we have going on right now, my dear, as far as how he feels. And just to remind you, Miss Janelle, how somebody feels is a very, very temporary, transitory energy. So just because they feel that way right now doesn't mean they're going to feel the same way in 20 minutes. A lot of things trigger people's feelings to change. So this is just a very temporary type of thing. I would only take it good for this minute and then let it go. All right, my dear. Thank you so much for choosing me. Everybody, thank you for stopping by and checking it out. And I look forward to being of service to all of you sometime in the near future. Peace out.